You know, what I was thinking, the time I've been screwed over online has been very, very few times in the way of e-commerce. And I've always been a really firm believer in strong e-commerce, in practices, in ethics, things like that. And I remember when I was selling knives online, and when somebody would order my knife, I always got the biggest compliments on how fast my shipping was. And people would say, "Man, your shipping is so fast." And my secret at the time was, and this is before the outbreak, but I would get to the post office before the close, 5 p.m., and make sure it would go out probably in the first run or at least before the close of the day. No matter where they were in the United States, they got their knife within about 2 to 3 days, 3 days tops. Sometimes it'd almost be there the next day. It was almost like overnight shipping. It was amazing. Postal service. And yeah, pretty wild. Everybody would compliment me. They'd tell me your shipping is so, man, your shipping is so fast. Your packaging is so spot on. You know, it was. I would ship the knife with a couple business cards and a couple of postcards with the invoice, and the knife would be wrapped in bubble wrap with a combination of bubble wrap and styrofoam peanuts. Wouldn't shake, nothing, and it would be at their house like no time flat, because I would always get there before the close of the day. Sometimes I even sent my mom down there to mail stuff out because I couldn't get there at the close of the day. I'd be waiting in line on my lunch hour. Taking stuff over there. I'd package it in the morning, put it behind the seat of my car, and take it over there. So I remember I was over talking to one of the range staff at a local, not local. It's actually next state over, at a firm where I do some of my training at, and I told them that I was. Yeah, I'm actually no longer making knives. I'm a consumer now, and being a consumer is actually kind of fun. You know, I want to start, getting back to the way it used to be at the time. I was going to be buying some more different types of knives. And so, after about a couple months when I got back from class, I decided to make my first purchase. I purchased a $450 knife. And I was waiting for it to ship. And if I remember correctly, I'm not saying any names here or nothing like that, but it just showed a label being printed. And I can't remember if it said a label printed or if it left the actual office. But as far as I know, there's no little line, okay? There's no little line. Because after the first dot, that shows where the stuff is, the stuff I paid for, there's a second dot over here, and then there's a little line that gets like drawn by the computer, by this magic that the computer does, that shows it coming into town, and it'll tell me like actually when it's in my town. Okay, there's a little line, it's called tracking. There's a big long number. It'll show a little line, it'll tell me where it's at, it'll tell me what facility it's left. It's called tracking. Okay? It's one of the modern marvels of our century. So, I went ahead and ordered these goods, this knife. And I waited, and finally I sent them an email, and they said that they shipped it out through Postal Service. So I had some correspondence with them. So finally I decided I'd go ahead and talk to them on social media. I don't think they really cared for So I thought, I think I've been understaffed before, and I've been under a little bit of stress before. I thought to myself, well, maybe they just need a little bit of help. So I looked at my resources, called up the Postal Service, explained to them what's going on, and I'd actually talked to them on the phone and opened up an investigation. You can go ahead and maybe see how many more mistakes the Postal Service made in that region, sending out other people's merchandise. I'm only trying to help them. You see, I've been understaffed before, and I think they need a little help, and I was just trying to help them. And I listen. I understand that it's hard to trust people these days. But look. Okay, remember one time I ordered some belts from an abrasives company, and they didn't really have. I don't know, the website wasn't that good. Whatever. Well, it turned out that they didn't get my money for my credit card. So they called me. They explained to me. They said, "Hey, guy, your merchandise is in the mail," which they put it in the mail, but didn't charge me. So, okay. So the opposite. So I said, "Sure, okay. Well, I'm not gonna give this guy on his." I guess I don't know if he's on a cell phone or what. He says he's out of the office. So I said, well, okay, I'll just go ahead and call the head office. So I went ahead, called the head office, asked for the honcho, and I gave him my credit card number, and the charge went through, and I already had the merchandise coming to me in the mail. That's the way it was. He called me up. I probably could have said something like, no, I'm not giving you nothing. It's your fault. You shouldn't have sent it. Like one time I ordered 2 ounces of silver on eBay, and I got four. I ordered 2 bars, and I got like 4 rounds. Okay, so I only ordered 2 ounces. I got 4 ounces. I contacted them and said, "Hey, you accidentally sent me 4 ounces. Would you like me to send this back? Do you want it?" And he told me, "Just keep it." At the time, silver was $9 an ounce, so it was no big deal. But these guys, so I, pretty amazing though. I was really, really remarkable how fast they sent me an upbeat email and telling me my money's on the way. It's everything's good. Merchandise is still MIA. No little line. But they got my they got my money back to me. They sent it back to me, and everything's fine. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to be dismissed. I didn't want to be reminded about how maybe a little comment makes them look bad. I wanted my refund. And I got my refund after I gave them a little bit of help. And it said like something to the effect, to my best of my recollection, like pro tip, don't go through Postal Service. I'll go through the fucking Postal Service every time without a problem. Okay? If it fits, it ships. I shipped everything out. I've never had an issue with Postal Service. Maybe there was something bad about that particular area, just to give them benefit of the doubt. But I have never had a problem with Postal Service getting my merch to my clients. Never missed an order. Never been late. I've always made sure I got it out early, too. I don't like being dismissed. If there's still business, I don't like being dismissed. Other than that, I'm a pretty reasonable guy to get along with. Well, anyway, don't worry about the haters. Just let the haters worry about you. See you on the next one.